LinkedIn, how many have used it? How many use it regularly? How many have no idea what you're supposed to do with it? Yeah, you know. LinkedIn is quite a bit like Facebook, although it's different in that they try to keep it a professional image. And we'll see a little bit that sometimes that doesn't really happen and it starts to look like Facebook and things get a little carried away. And they do, because as more people use it, it just grows and expands, and control, you can only keep control over so much. So the thing about LinkedIn is you have to control it from your end. You have to find where you fit in with it. You have to find the groups that you need to find for your business, and you have to keep the interaction professional the way it's supposed to be. And we'll take a look at all that. These are what the primary uses of LinkedIn when they first started. Publishing is a big thing. People like to publish articles and news and opinions and whatnot, and they like to get feedback on it because it brings traffic to them, and it gets them as well as everybody else involved in a specific discussion where actual information is exchanged, not like opinions and other things that Facebook is known for. You can go out and you have a test market. You're in a business group, or you want to say, hey, which ad do you like better and why? Or which product that we're working on do you think we should launch first? Or which product has more appeal to you? And you get a lot of good feedback because these are people that you've connected with professionally just for that reason. And as usual with any social media, you want to drive people to your website. Because your website, you have total control of your message, your image, and your brand. People on Facebook can post good things, bad things. They can post all kinds of things on your Facebook page. They can do it on LinkedIn. You can tweet something and just get tons of tweets that either make no sense at all or aren't very appealing. It's always been business to business, and they really try to keep it that way. In fact, there are some groups that are very self-policing, that if you stray off the business to business topics, they'll call you on it. And then buyer persona targeting, which also includes looking for a job or posting that you want to hire somebody. So 2003, 380 million members, still the best for professionals, and it's still ranked one of the better social networks overall. Because it's, you know, in the wild west of social media, it probably has the most rules and regulations to follow, and they did that on purpose. We're going to look at how to use LinkedIn to really find what you need. My daughter has 3 or 4 social networks I never heard of. You know, and my daughter is real good that when we say, let's see your phone, she gives it to us, and there's all this social networking, and Snapchat's a big one she's on, but there's like 2 others that I had never heard of before that she's just on all the time, and I'm lost. So if you use it right, it can be incredible, and we'll look at some of the what I feel are the more important features of it colleagues, potential employees, business partners, new employees, all geared around your work. In fact, and we'll look at a little later, that some employers are looking, they want to see your LinkedIn page. They don't want a resume, they want access to your LinkedIn page so they can see who you are. We've talked a bit about marketing on Facebook and Facebook ads and all that stuff. I don't know if there's been any studies as to whether Facebook is more effective with ads than LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is more targeted. Maybe not targeted for people who are stay-at-home moms or people who like the same things you do, but people who are in the same industry as you're in, people who have the same ideas and goals that you have, people who are looking to further their business as well as you're trying to further yours. So it's a narrow niche. And if we use it that way, we're good. So the profile is where everything starts. 100% complete, and there's my LinkedIn page. The picture up there that I have is actually about 5 years old, so that's kind of outdated. But if we look at the profile, we're going to see here's my profile. My profile strength is all-star, but as you see, I'm not quite at 100%. I added that I was a board member at the Muncie Civic Duty, and it asks me, it says, oh, this isn't complete. So it's going to go through and say, this isn't complete, fill me in. But here is the profile. It gives just the basic resume. I have over 500 plus connections. A summary of what I do. My experiences. Recommendations. People on Facebook can send recommendations. And these are people that I've worked with. There's this guy here I've known since college, and he ended up being a client of mine. I'm a member of Rotary. All my history is there. Oh, a few more recommendations. We'll talk about skills and endorsements, which people feel are getting a little overused and overworked, because these are all people that have said, Tom's good at recruiting. And, one person said that. But 28 said I'm good at training, 30 said I'm good at public speaking. This is why prospective employers ask to see your LinkedIn profile. They want to see stuff like this. There's my education. And then the fun stuff I do. And things I care about. And then there's the people that recommended me. So if I wanted to check out Sam, I hope you don't mind. Here's Sam. This is what you see.
More than 4 years ago, much hair on the top there.
Yeah, but this is what you see when you go in and look at somebody's profile. Now, a couple of things to look at. Over here, Sam and I have a couple groups in common with. We've got skills and experiences and locations. It connects you so that if you're looking for a specific thing and you see Sam's got it, you send him a message and Sam says, oh yeah. And it's really great if Sam knows somebody that you want to get in touch with. If Sam can make a warm introduction. And then, of course, it tries to match up people just like Sam that you might be interested in knowing or adding to your groups and professional connections. So as you see, far more professional than what Sam might put on his Facebook page about himself. Far more professional than what I put on my Facebook page about myself. It's totally, totally different animal. And remember I said about the endorsements right there? I'm on Sam's page and it's like, oh yeah, Sam's real good at project management. I can click on him, endorse him, and it becomes a statistic on his page. And they made it real easy to do because you can just say, endorse, and that's it. And of course, it tries to, again, be smart. It goes through and says, oh, by the way, these are some of your other connections. You want to endorse any of them? You could spend hours endorsing people. And this is a good one. Who's viewed your profile? These are people. Oh, they made that paid now.
It what?
You have to pay to see that.
Oh.
Well, here's the thing. Like in Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat, you choose who you accept. You know, 5 people viewed my profile in the past 30 days. It used to be you could see who those people are, but LinkedIn is slowly evolving to make money. So they're taking certain features and saying, well, if you want to see that, you got to start paying for it. So, and it's very simple. You go through and it walks you through the process of entering all this information. And again, it tells you where you're at with the information you filled in. And you know, the more information you have, the better your profile and the more LinkedIn likes it. So, to ensure your profile is the best it could be, your industry and your postal code, description of the position, your current position, as well as at least 2 more positions that you've had, your education, you know, this is your resume, profile photo, and 50 connections when you first start. When you start, and we'll look at the connections in a minute, it's what gets your network growing. And my first 50 connections was really simple because it looked at where I was living, it looked at where I was working, and it brought up everybody that I worked with that was on LinkedIn and everybody that was semi-professional, if not professional, within the area I was living in. So. And it'll go through and say, you know this person? Do you want to connect to this person? And it'll automatically send out invitations, which we'll look at in a second. Connections. Yeah, people you may know. They go by degrees, 1st, 2nd, 3rd degrees. And if I did a search for somebody, what's your name on LinkedIn, Liz?
Oh, I'm Liz Osison.
L-I-Z, how do you spell your last name? O-S-I-S.
Oh, there I am.
Ah, okay.
I have a picture, but I guess you can't see it, so we're connected.
See if I come up too.
Okay. Second, she's a second, which means we know somebody in common.
Oh.
So let's say I never met Liz before, and I do what I do, and I want to have a function here.
Okay.
So I could go to whoever that second is and say, can you introduce me to Liz? You got a nice warm introduction. She's more likely to say yes to what I'm asking for than if I just called up out of the blue. So let's say I want to connect with Liz. Send an invitation.
I don't accept that.
Sure. The invitation, I mean, Facebook. These right here are people that have sent me invitations. And truthfully, I don't know any of them.
Well, Judge Dudley is been nominated to run, so maybe he's trying to get your vote.
Well, that could be. But I can ignore and I can accept. You know, and you have to be selective as to who you ignore and who you accept. And then, of course, as you go down, like I said, when you first start your Facebook or your LinkedIn profile and the connections, all these people are going to pop up. I'm looking for one of them that I know. If I say ignore, for instance, I'm trying to remember, portfolio Tom Wood, that's Tom Wood Honda.
Yes.
I don't know him. Would I ever have a chance to meet or greet or connect with him? I don't know. I work with smaller businesses than he is, so if I click on ignore, he goes away and Leslie Mathewson pops up. Now, she's an attorney, president of law. She's also at the Innovation Connector. She has an office right down the hall from me. And in my business, I need referrals to lawyers. So I will accept. Troy Hanna. Troy Hanna used to dance ballet with my oldest daughter. Pat Smith, Building Product Specialty Diversity Trainer. I actually know her. She's somebody I've known since I moved down here. So to connect with her, basically an invitation has been sent to her. She'll get an email saying, Tom Steiner wants to connect with you. And my picture will end up there with pending invitations. Quite simple. So you want to do that. You can import contacts from your Outlook or your Gmail or whatever. And basically what it'll do is just put a whole bunch of invitations up there for you to invite people. But the big thing is you want to start, when you get your profile in, you want to get up to at least 50. Yeah, that's when things really start happening and you start getting connected. Groups, again, similar to Facebook. Groups can be business groups. You know, your business can have a group page. Groups can be about a certain topic like IT or small business development. And again, it's a huge exchange of ideas, information. And people should not be afraid to share on LinkedIn. You know, a lot of people are afraid of giving away secrets. These are the groups that I'm in. Now, this is where I used to work when I was in Chicago.
Now, do you have to know the specific groups, or are they like Facebook where you can get a whole cluster of groups and just,
There's this right here, Discover. And it brings up again groups that it thinks you might be interested in. You can check other people's profiles and see what groups they're in. You can, I mean, you can start a group. It's all, a lot of the groups that I belong to, truthfully, I just kind of stumbled across. And a lot of them, like I mentioned, for instance, my groups. Where was that ComDisco one? This one right here, this company, like I said, this is the company I worked at when I first started my LinkedIn account. Company went bankrupt and went out of business about 1999.
Is that why it's called alumni?
Right. It was basically a group. This group was formed on LinkedIn so people could stick together because ComDisco was a very family-oriented business. They had 12,000 employees worldwide. And people got to know each other, and people, this was their forever job. And so this is a way to way for people who worked at ComDisco to keep in touch. Unfortunately, it's turned into a lot of people who have passed on, but so.
Is that the only, it looks like that's the only information of.
Well, but no, right here, if any of you can speak at a marketing e-commerce world and would be willing to speak at the Maywood Chamber of Commerce, there's not just who's died. Okay. This is corporate turnaround experts. Well, has been used in a while. But here's where you really have to be, and unfortunately I went through and I did do a lot of cleaning out because a lot of these there's guerrilla marketing, something about MLM, multi-level marketing. So this is actually one of the better ones because a lot of people go into groups and sell you their services. A lot of them are, hey, you need money for your business, call me. Having problems with cash flow, message me. So you got to go through and not join those groups, but you got to find groups like this where you can actually go in, and again, very much like Facebook, and again, you're able to make comments and start a discussion and go.
So can you scroll down a little bit on the piece of within this group on
Up or down?
down? I mean, I want to see something that already passed. like this tips to improve productivity from working from home,
Uh-huh.
how would that get in that group?
Well, the person who's a member of that group will post it.
Okay,
Just like you would post something on your page, or in a group, or on somebody else's page. You know, Facebook and LinkedIn parallel each other so much in operations. It's just the content that's really fitting. And yes,
To go on with her question, so if I post it on my open profile page,
Mhm.
does it automatically populate to all the groups that I'm
No.
a part of? Or how do you get a post to go into a specific group?
you would actually,
Go to the top.
yeah. Enter a conversation title.
Okay, so you go into the specific group that you're interested
Yeah.
in, she was asking about, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So you enter the title of what you want it, and you can, again, tag people using the @sign. You can insert links of articles, and you can, you know, again, you start a discussion through the group. It's,
I'm going to write, about this group, sort of
Yes.
what gives you the context. So
Yes.
you start with this, you post it in here, you read about this group, it doesn't really matter.
right, and here,
oh, that was really helpful, because I was wondering where that one article kind of fit in.
yeah, and if you look at the group rules, sharing your successes or failures, case studies, offer, ask for help, post ideas. Resources, and you'll see that if you want to put in resources that you might think helpful, you have to contact the group owner and ask for permission. Not to put in the group. No spamming. No no MLM, no network marketing, no political.
Get ready to, number 4,
Yeah,
no political or good cause
yeah,
polemics. Is that how you say that?
yeah. It's just articles,
There's other places to post that.
That's
Yeah.
what I was getting ready to ask, like, could you have a LinkedIn account and then it just be all about politics?
Sure. And I'll bet there's several of them out there.
And people would love to hear about that if they're in that group.
And
it's the place
even-
you can
even-
get people who share a business or marketing or.
Yeah, and even then, there'll be rules as to how far you can take your political
They probably don't want baby
stance.
pictures in that one.
Or what-
They probably don't want your baby pictures in that one.
Right,
So
right.
as they segment out the content in an organized way, it becomes easier to focus in on what you're wanting to use
Yeah,
for rather than just a barrage of information dumped down.
and a lot of it is common courtesy. Don't just, number 8, don't just put 10, 20 posts up there. Don't just ask for reviews of your website. Just say, hey, I posted this, I changed my website, can you check this page out and tell me if you like it? Tell me if it looks good. Tell me if the content, it delivers what I need to. Now, here's where you would create a group and go from there. Groups are different than your business. You can have a business page, you can have a personal page. Groups are, again, for everybody. Your business page is where you sell your business, where you post news about your business, where you post job openings or hiring opportunities and things like that. And again, it goes back to common courtesy that you don't want to get people upset with you. So, 1.4 million groups. and LinkedIn. And I'll bet 3/4 of them are nothing but, hey, if your cash flow is bad, call me. You'll see that companies, oh, we don't have any, okay, Christy hasn't gotten our East Central business page up. So let's look at this is a business page. And again, you can choose to follow how you're connected. I have a second-degree connection, so somebody that works at this hospital knows somebody that knows me. So if I was looking for a job, or again, I was looking to do something here, a seminar, meet people, do whatever, I could find out who that connection is.
So we're all 6 degrees from Kevin Bacon.
Absolutely. Sometimes even 3, 4, or 5. But again, you'll see it's very simple, very straightforward. I'm going to have to remember that and see who that connection is. Now I'm intrigued.
Mouse with that picture.
I don't, you know what? They want you to pay. Oh, no. Oh, it's Jay Julian and who else? Let's see what happens. Yeah, okay. So I'm connected through Luis and Jay Julian. So I got a connection to Florida there. East Central Florida Regional Planning Council. And I just picked that one at random. So you see how everybody's all connected back and forth. This is where they would post jobs. This is where if they had a job opening, it would be posted here. And $15 employees on LinkedIn. These are the employees that work at the East Central Florida Regional Planning Council. I can contact any one of them. Facebook has the brand pages. It's not quite the same. The brand pages is just a big advertisement for your business. This is, again, information, professional information. Adding your company, you're going to go through the same thing you did when you did your profile. They check, if I added East Central Indiana Development Center, Indiana Small Business Development Center, they're actually going to check to make sure that my email address matches the domain of the website, because they don't want bogus companies. They don't want people inventing companies just for doing it. You have to be at least an intermediate or an all-star in your own profile. And of course, several connections. That goes back to that 50. So again, on Facebook, you pretty much have an open door to do what you want. LinkedIn, they kind of keep track of things. And it's protection, it's professionalism, it's keeping the image of LinkedIn that much higher above other social networking. Jobs. Anybody looking for a job? You might be. So, jobs in LinkedIn, they got your job activity is private, so your boss doesn't find out. These are all the people in my area, Muncie, Indiana, that are hiring. And it tries to match my skills to the skills that these businesses are looking for employment. Or you could even post a job if you're hiring. Let's say corporate development manager. I have no idea who that is. Assembly Biosciences. And if you look at the job, I mean, everything that that job is showing everything that this job is showing, I do in my job. So it's pretty smart. It goes through and it says, what are my experiences? What are my skills? Which ones am I going to match up with of all the businesses and whatnot on LinkedIn that are posting? So it's actually becoming, you know, there's Monster out there, there's IndianaJobs.com or whatever it is. It's actually doing a much better job of matching you up to prospective jobs than they do. And the thing is if you want to post a job, it's going to cost you just like everyone else.
I've got an anecdote, I just got a message. Mark McCorkle is the brother of someone I went to college with. We've talked before, connected on LinkedIn, and he was younger in college also. And he's at startup, we're doing something to do with students and hiring students. And so he connected back with me on LinkedIn and said, hey, can I come and talk to you and your students? So now he's saying, are you available today next week? I could come in and talk to a set of students for his business.
Now, as far as EMS, I'm sure there's a lot of EMS people out there. And yeah.
I'm on several different groups.
And imagine, you know, you're reading something and you go, wish I thought of that. So, updates, you know, don't do 10, 12 of them at a time, but do them regularly. Become a part of the community. Don't inundate people with information. Don't post article after article after article about Trump's hands or something. You know, not needed, not wanted. You know, so, you know, people don't want garbage and clutter in their feeds. Applications, I like Pulse, which is a news aggregator through LinkedIn. You put it on your phone and you can pick and choose what posts you want to see on LinkedIn. Hootsuite, other applications that allow you to connect all your social media together so that when you can schedule posts, you can read certain posts and things like that. They all They all require permission, they all require basic profile information, and they all do nothing but enable you to share content. Pulse is not on the PC. Pulse is on your Android phone or your Apple phone. I can show you what it looks like. And it says, good morning, connecting. And as you scroll, it's just news headlines and stories and stuff that you can see. And this is, Pulse is pretty much a thing for LinkedIn. So it's specifically designed for LinkedIn. Or actually, Pulse was out there and LinkedIn bought them and said, you're ours and you're going to aggregate our stuff. As you know, I threw BlackBerry in there just because. I don't know if anybody still has a BlackBerry or not, but and this is it. You know, you can download connections to your address book. You can upload connections. You can, you know, LinkedIn could take over your whole device just like Facebook can. It's just, you have to keep control of what you choose, you know, pick and choose what you want to see.
Do that people change their business phone or their home phone?
Yeah.
Or their contact email?
And the best thing about this is, if you do that and you change your phone, it automatically changes in LinkedIn, and it keeps you up with the most current contact information. Oh, there's Pulse, yeah. Again, you can post on Pulse. You can news feeds. It gets smarter as you use it because it pays attention to the articles you're reading. It pays attention to the articles you're posting, and it goes through and it looks for them. And actually, you know, I think out of all of them, I really like Pulse. Out of all the news aggregation apps that I have, Pulse is really smart. Upgrade. Do you need to upgrade the count? Well, as time goes on, you're going to have to eventually, because they're starting to lock down features that used to be free that you sometimes found useful. So, in-mail is just a way you can in-mail send a message or an email to any of your contacts. For $20 a month, you can send it to anyone. Better research results. Again, you can view the full list of people who have viewed your LinkedIn profile and see who's been spying on you. And you can, what's really great about this is if you're looking for a job, you can see if your prospective employer looked at your profile or not. And that's it. Any questions other than what we've gone over? I'm going to bring up LinkedIn again and go through a few things. For instance, up here, oh, David Mitchell. Oops. I noticed you're connected to real estate agent Mark Kelly in Muncie. I would like to share ways that I can help improve his business. Would you mind if I used your name as I reached out to Mark? Well, I can say, reply. Oops, come on. Send message.
Now, do you personally know David?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes, I know David. I mean, if I didn't know him, I would say,
Yeah,
no
that's
way.
what I was curious about,
Yeah,
like,
no, I know David.
Unless you don't know Mark either, I guess, like, you know.
Yeah.
No.
And then Martin Hillary, he sent me a message. What's really cool about Facebook, every one of your connections, if they have a lifetime event like an anniversary for being at their job, you'll get a message that says, Martin Hillary is celebrating his 5th year on the job. And you can say, you know, hey, congratulations. Don't just use the canned responses that they give you,
Yeah.
because it's really tacky. Take a few minutes and really say something. So it'll remind you of those events. Somebody gets promoted, it'll tell you somebody was promoted in their job. It's a way to say, remember people without really remembering them. But it's a way to really, really stay in touch with those contacts. And, you know, I have 500 plus contacts in here. Do you need that many? Well, I could probably go through and say I know or have contacted at least maybe 300 of them or so. The other ones I thought were kind of interesting to know and follow and keep up with. Yeah, and like in Facebook, you know, one time I had 550 friends in Facebook, of which, you know, I don't think I knew half of them. I'm down to 325 now because I went through and
Yeah.
weeded some out. The people that had me as friends weeded me out. So you got to keep the list fresh, keep it current, keep it useful to you. So yeah, all these messages are from people that I know, that I'm connected with in LinkedIn. And it's a great way to keep in touch. All right, well, that's it. I mean, it's Facebook for professionals. And it's, don't be intimidated by it. Poke around, experiment. And again, use it. It's a great way to meet and greet people.